I can't hear you if you are talking to me. I'm live, but I can't hear you. Am I supposed to hear you? Please text. I can see that you're saying I'm live. Oh, you are muted. Oh, I'm just going to introduce myself and start talking. Oh, you're on. Okay. Uh, all right. So if I were to show you, will display whatever slides I was showing and also maybe. Perfect. Thank you. I love that. So thank you so much, Tamar, for inviting me to be here. I'm excited to be here. Definitely some technical difficulties, which is normal, right? For a Zoom call for an online conversation. And I may be able to respond to you if I have any questions up here. So welcome everyone for this beautiful class today. And I will try my best to share, little knowledge of my Henna experience and my work for Henna in this small session with you, and also go through some basic elements to show you how you can draw something simple flowers in many doing it in challenge for this time. So congratulations for you to be here. I'm excited, of course. And let me introduce myself. My name is Sophie Hami. I am from New Valley, Pennsylvania, USA, if you're not from USA. And I started, I've been doing that from my childhood when I was How about now? Can you hear me now? Oh, this is crazy. Mute this. Okay. How about now? Yes? Okay. I had to reduce the volume on my phone, but this is on. My laptop is unmuted and my phone is muted, but I can actually hear my feedback very soft in my ears right now. Okay, perfect. It works for you. I'm fine with tiny feedback in my ear, right? That's okay. Oh, yes, we figured it out a little bit. Okay, so hope this works. So, again, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for your patience with us trying to connect so many devices to make sure this works for us. And it takes a task and some patience. So, thank you so much. So, yes, I was sharing about who I am. My name is Sophie, and I'm in Lehigh Valley, Allentown, Pennsylvania, in USA. And I've been doing henna from, say, childhood. I have learned henna from my neighbor and many other classes growing up, but it was only considered as a career. And I did all my education background. Have done my master's in conflict resolution and peace building. I've been a national trainer. I was in IT for 10 years. So many background. I don't want to talk too much about that part. But 4 years ago, I decided to start my business as a professional henna artist. Hey, hi Heather, my one of my best friends is here. Thank you so much for joining, Heather. Um, so I started this business 4 years ago, and when I restarted my journey in henna, I realized I have so much to learn, and I had to practice so much until to become more neater and clearer and faster in my henna designs, and of course very creative. So one of the key element, I'm sure, no matter how many henna artists or any artist you ask, the only reason, the only the key for success they will share is to practice, and definitely with passion and dedication is definitely the underlining of that keys. So let me start with some slideshow that I've created this morning. So the flow of today's live will be some slideshow with introduction of what is henna, the how to select a henna, what is henna, of course, henna love and henna product, and we will go through some basic elements of henna design, and I will show you some a small beautiful flower or a small mandala design, so you can follow through with my other camera. You can see how I will design first with pencil and with the henna cone that I create, right? All right. So if you want to see my slideshow, I'm sure somebody is sharing that. So my first slideshow is nothing but my information. The first slideshow here is the henna birth. So I am sure whoever have joined today actually know what henna is. If not, let me tell you, right? Henna is nothing but a medicinal plant. It's a crop that is grows in a farm, and it grows in a tropical region, and definitely which is hot and dry areas. That's where the henna will be much more flourishing and beautiful henna stain. So the leaves of the plants are used to color different organic matters. So the leaves of the plants are dried and crushed and powdered and strained or sifted multiple times to make it a very, very fine powder, like a baby powder, right? So that powder has this molecule, or the leaf has this capacity to color organic materials, which is hair, nails, skin, leather, wood, right? So this powder is then mixed with essential oils and lemon juice, sometimes distilled water and sugar, release the dye overnight, and then you transfer that into a tube or syringes to make a tool how you can apply that. So if you see the picture, there's a leaves, henna leaves, and the henna paste from powder to paste, right? As you can see, powder to paste, and then applied on the hand, and then comes to the color point. So the all stages are in these three pictures, right? And so that's one. And henna birth, that is just the birth where it is coming from. So henna is also very, very important to know. The henna, natural henna, if it is organic, natural henna is always reddish brown color. So if you see in this slide, the fresh henna paste is the first slide of these 4 different phases. The first is the fresh henna paste is applied. You leave it on for a few hours, use no water for at least 24 hours, and then you will have a lightish yellowish orangish color. Then it will grow and deepen its color in next 2 days, like 36 to 42 hours, to make it really dark maroonish and reddish color. So if you see, these are the phases of henna. So henna is always natural. There is nothing called black henna. If you see any black henna, please run away from that. It is definitely dangerous. So the next slide is all about to be aware of chemical henna. So if you see any henna cones lying in a shelf, in a store, not in the freezer, but on a shelf, that means it is chemical henna. It has oils that has been used for releasing the dye quickly, but it is definitely not safe for your skin. So please don't use those shelf store bought henna, okay? And henna is perishable. So if I were to make my fresh henna blend, like my cone, it will last, depending on what I have used in my henna cone. If it is a lemon juice, it will last for 6 months. If it is over 6 months, it will still work, but it will ooze out some oils more loosely. So I try not to use much after that. But definitely I can use for my practice cones. But at least everything I use is organic. The oils that I use is lavender. There are different blends. I use lavender oil, eucalyptus oil, clove oil. These are all safe oils that can help release the dye from the henna powder overnight. Okay. So the next slide. Let's see. So this was the basic information of henna product, and let's get into drawing something. And just to let you know, if you are brand new to henna, and when you see these designs, beautiful designs out there, they are very complicated. But when you break down that complicated design into simple elements, and then you build upon those elements, you can create as beautiful designs you like. One of the main skill of henna design is not just the design, but how to operate or how to use your henna tube, how much to release, how to hold, and when to release, how harder or lighter. So if you were to see my tube, it's like a pencil. Different people use different artists have different style, how they use, how they roll their cones. My cones used to be like small and fat before. Now they're long and slim or tiny, just because it can be used as a pencil style. And that helps me not to hurt my knuckles or my wrist, because if I work long hours, the small henna tube was giving me issues in my thumb, and my knuckles were very painful. So this kind of helped me for long run. I'm not teaching you how to roll the cone in this class. I teach other classes for that. And of course, you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and see all my upcoming events and workshops on my website. So, henna elements. So, if you were to see my other camera, I will teach you two main basic elements, which are dots and scallops. Scallops or humps or bumps, they are known differently by different people, so you decide what you want to call them as. It can be like a semicircle, but it is not actual circle, so you will see what I mean. Okay, so these two, if you just know how to draw a dot and a scallop, you can create a beautiful mandala design or a flower if you like. All right, so I'm gonna adjust this camera so that you can see properly, and please give me how is better. Summer, tell me in message if this is good enough to see, or do you want much higher, closer to the camera? So I'm gonna place a little book and a cushion to make it higher to the camera. Is that good enough? Perfect. And I can see them shade happening here. I will try to turn on a light just in case, if that helps, right? Because first I'm gonna draw with pencil, and then I will draw with henna. Okay. So dots, simple, right? There is nothing but just a simple dot. It's super simple. That dot is nothing but a dot, right? Little closer, you want much closer. Let me try. I'm gonna just lift my pad up, right? Just the dots. And then scallops. Scallops are nothing but, it can be like, imagine you are doing this use. I sometimes call this as a use. So make it like continued line of use. So if you have a pencil and a pen and a paper right now, you can actually draw along and see how you feel, just to see how your muscular, fingers are working using. So make use, continue to use, or say W's, whatever. And then just do the reverse of that. It can be M. These can be just M's or inverted U's, right? So the same scallops or humps or bumps, these are just this. And these humps and bumps could be any size. Let's do small, both direction, right? Or it can be long, it can be big and, round, right? So imagine if I have a line here, so I'm going over the line like this, right? If it is a reverse or small one, connect to the line. So if you have a guideline of a line, then you can go through in a same order, like a same level. So line itself is one more element, right? So we are learning three elements: dots, scallops, and line. And now we can create a design. All right. So let me take another page here with pencil. First, we're gonna do with pencil. So let's draw a center dot. Anything definitely starts with a dot. So the design that you see on the other slide, that is the design we are gonna create with these two elements only. All right. With this dot, we can spiral it. Of course, this is one more element. Oh my gosh. Right? Just make a spiral around that dot. Right? So this becomes the centerpiece of a flower or a mandala. Anything starts with a round, or anything has a center point. And then center point can be just a dot, and we can create two design. I'm going to show you two design with spiral or without spiral. So I'm going to come here and show just the dot. Right? If it is only dot, surround this dot with long scallops. Just connect these scallops towards. So the scallops are going to the center dot. It doesn't matter how many, or if it is not equal, that is fine. So this is just dots and scallop. But if you were to do a dot and a spiral, you created that. And now on the spiral, you create this scallops. going towards the spiral, right? Just with pencil right now. Simple. Now on top of these both, to make it expanding, these are all layers. Any flower or any mandala goes one layer, this is like two layer, this is two layer, then we go third layer, four layer, as big as you want. So if you want to go, we started with a small scallop, now we do big scallops, big, like, so it doesn't matter, these two can become one big. So you can measure that way or just go freehand. And it doesn't matter how it's coming through. It doesn't have to be very, very perfect. Everything is, you know, doesn't matter. We will fix that, right? Same thing. Now for this flower, we will do the same thing, big scallops. We will see the difference how two flowers will look based on just the dot or the spiral. So generally what I do now after this definitely looks uneven, doesn't look like a circle. So what I do, I go over outside of this to make a circle. So doesn't so that's how these are not touching. So when they're not touching, what I do is then I fill it up. And that brings out a beautiful texture or a 3D dimension of that design. I love doing this. This mandala is my favorite. And then you cover it up, not cover it up, like now do the one more layer just to give a space between this filled portion and the next layer. I may not be, clear on that, but so same thing goes on this flower. So we'll just do round and one more round outside, one more round, right? So if you're following along, because I'm doing two, I'm hoping you are doing at least one. So you have enough time to follow along to do only one, right? So that's that. One more layer, same thing. Now we have small scallops going on. Isn't that simple? Just two elements. You can keep adding small, big scallops and make it a big flower or a big mandala. And after this is the real magic happening. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments so I can respond to that. I'm trying to see both the screens here. So we will do this later. So let's do this. So now this is like a base of the mandala. Now we will create like a center points of this circle. This is north, south, east, west. So 4 points are created. Now mark something in between each of them, like northeast, right? Southeast, southwest, and northwest, right? So these are our points created. Now these points, what we're going to do, the same thing, dot and spiral, dot, spiral, but in a smaller way, not exactly really big like we did for the center. Just create like 2 or 3 rounds of the spiral going around it. Right? Super simple. Do you like the design so far? All right. Oh, good question, Wendy. So when I'm doing with henna, I will show you it has to be flowy, because if the cone is really good, then you can really keep it flowy by squeezing less or more to release tiny line or thicker line. So right now I'm doing only with pencil to show you the actual design. And when I do the cone, then I will show you how I'm squeezing that. And actually, if you see, this design is super simple how I did. We just created the same element outside again, outside this big one, like what's 8 times, is it? Yeah, 8 times. Now we did it, right? Now our dots will come handy. So you can actually dot this out. Make like 5 dots on top of each of these small ones. The dots always gives you a very nice, closure of a design, right? You just dot it out. And this way you are actually learning one basic element and a design option too. Sometimes you may feel, okay, this is kind of empty. You can do many things. The design that I showed you had leaves in that. So you can actually drag one line out and then maybe do your, if you're a face painter, you can do a teardrop or just a dot in the center. So you can just do now out and then out. So there could be leaf. I just tried that. But if you want to do a dot and then kind of leaves coming out in both direction, you can do that. Or sometimes I do, if you want to do a teardrop, we'll do here, here like that. And then same thing here, and then teardrop. I don't want to talk about one more element of teardrop, but so this is it. So this becomes a beautiful centerpiece of mandala design. So what do you think? Yeah, yes, Wendy, because based on the environment, you have to work accordingly. If you are living in a place which is where is high humidity, adding less sugar and less oil is important for your henna recipe. So depending on where you are, what your environmental factors are, it always depends. So you just have to experiment with that, right? All right. So now I will try to get this higher because I cannot hold this high. All right, let me turn off this ring light. How is this now? Is it clear enough to see? Oh my gosh, my tube light on the top is okay here. Is that good enough? So one way to practice with your henna cone, you can, as on a paper, you can trace your hand to see how it is going. So if this was a hand of my design and this design was the center, you just trace, and this is where the center of my palm will be my mandala design here. You see? Oh my goodness. Sometimes it's too much light, sometimes it's no light. I don't know. So, right? Okay. But if you were to practice on with henna cone, you can do it on a paper, or you can draw a template of a hand and then laminate the sheet so you can remove the henna paste after practicing. And always use some paper towel in your left hand or a napkin so you can kind of keep cleaning the tip, because the tip is super important how the the paste is coming on. So you have to always see, like how I'm going to show you with how it's coming out, right? Like this is nice flowy, right? That is how the quality of henna really really matters, based for your henna designs. If the quality of henna cone is not good, I guarantee the design will not come, no matter how good you are in your henna art. I mean, you can make it work, but not best. All right, so here I am in the centerpiece. So measure this in a way, this like a quadrant of your hand. I'm gonna just show you like a quadrant, like you find your center of your palm or your back of your hand. So we're gonna start with a dot, and this is a very small hand. My design is kind of big. It is a very small template. I'm gonna try this template. This is a big hand. Let me try this. I have multiple hands going on here. All right, so I'm gonna draw the center. Is this good enough, or shall I bring it much closer? Let me try to get one more cushion. This is kind of weird because I can't hear anybody. I'm talking to myself. All right, how about this? This looks good. Summer. Okay. Oh, I like it actually. All right, so here we are, and if you see how I'm holding this, and some people hold differently depending how you hold a pencil. So think of a pencil. The thumb is, I use my thumb to squeeze the henna. I use my index finger to guide where I have to take my cone, and then uh, my middle finger is to support this, like you're holding, as if you're holding a chopstick. Yeah. All right. So here we are doing a spiral. All right. You see that spiral? And as we remember, we are doing small scallops, tiny but kind of long scallops. And you position your hand based on how you're comfortable doing it. You see? And then we followed up with by bigger scallops, like big rounds. This could be like a semicircle rounds. Yeah. And then as you know, I did the line around this big circle. And the good part of henna, you can remove when you make a mistake. So you just, what I do, I make a circle by dragging my henna. It's called draping. So this really depends on how your henna tube or henna material is. If it's very stringy, it will be very, you can do the, what am I saying? Um, draping. I can hear my own feedback, so I'm like listening to my own voice. So it's kind of, okay. So I'm filling this up as you saw in my pencil design. We will do one more round, so we're gonna just drape it. I love draping. Sometimes if your henna is really good and there is no hair on the body, you can easily drape. If you have a hairy area to do this design, then you have to touch the skin, then you have to do it. All right, so follow this design by small scallops, maybe short or long, you decide, but I'm gonna do a little longer and thinner scallops here. And I don't go around it, I just go where I feel comfortable with my hand first, and then I go tackle the hard location where I have to like bend my hand, bend myself. And believe me, henna is not just about the skill how you do with your hand, but how you manage your body is the key. Because if you don't, if you don't take care of your body, you will hurt your back, which I have done many times. Your seating position, your seating is very important. So now I have marked this 8 points as I showed. So make this again a small spiral with a dot. I'm gonna just follow as I showed you with my pencil design. So it's kind of repeat again, and I don't want to change that pattern. And don't worry about if they are not equal, they're still okay. And if you're not making henna cones naturally, please go ask somebody. Do you work on paper sketches often to inspire new designs? Oh, well, I try definitely. I try to do designs on my paper first. If you have a big appointment, I draft a design before I actually go for an appointment. But the real design or practice comes only with your henna cone. So I'm doing the small scallops on this spirals now. So I was saying if you don't make your own henna cone, I really encourage you to buy a henna cone from a local artist or anywhere who actually makes natural cones. Don't try to buy from any store, any cone that is sitting on a shelf, because the henna is bad, of course, and the consistency is not this lovely. and you will get frustrated and you'll throw it away and you will be like, oh, henna is so hard, I don't want to do anything about it. So find the right product and then you will not be frustrated much. All right, so now we have done this 8 circles. I do sell henna cones based on the demand. I try not to sell a lot, but these days when people want to practice, I definitely sell some practice cones, and I ship it in USA only for now. Yes, Wendy, natural henna is the best and the only way to go. Yay! We have votes, all votes for natural henna. So if you see how I'm squeezing my cone to get the dot out, like just squeeze. So one of the good skill I have learned is to take the tip, place the tip of the cone lip on the top and just squeeze. So and then depending on how big of a size you want, you will get such a like a juicy juicy dots. I love juicy dots. Um, so here you go. We create some dots, right? And if you feel like there is a lot of gaps in between, so you can drag and then do a teardrop or just do dots. And if you do the dots, you can kind of drag it out. Let me see. So bring one line out, right? And then squeeze a dot, correct? And then you can keep the dot as is, or you can drag out to make it a tiny leaf, right? So here you go. I've been doing henna from my childhood as a hobby, but professionally, I started a business and changed of my career from last 4 years. But I'm telling you, what I have learned from last 4 years, I don't think I've learned that growing up so much. I had to relearn everything, and the key to wherever I am, I have long, long ways to go still. But if I don't practice, then I will not be at this level, whatever I am right now. So practice is the key and consistency. So my first year of my business, when I started 4 years ago, I practiced every single day for 10 minutes after coffee in the morning. It smells really good. I'm telling you, this has um, yeah. So this is a very like organic lavender I use and tea tree oil in this one. Yeah. Even for sensitive people can use this. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You guys are commenting amazing things because I personally have healed so much because of henna. So I just wanted to end this design by say you have a nice center mandala. First of all, do you like this design on this? Is this appealing design for you? And I will add some flair to it with an easy element. So draw a thin line, a thick line, and thin line, followed by again same very this is the basic element of henna design. Um, so make a scallops again, right? And then end with big scallop. And this becomes a beautiful ring design on your ring, right? And you can repeat that on all fingers. And then I'm going to show you some trick, okay? As I said, one more element is line. So I drape the line, and this is not center. I want this dot, this flower, or to be the center actually. But this dot will come center of this middle finger. By the way, this is not here. So you draw a line connecting to that. From this center, draw a drape a line as if you are creating a semicircle towards the wrist. Same thing, take this and draw semi opposite semicircle. You see that? And now we're gonna make a bracelet by just adding dots on this. So now you have like a jewelry style flower mandala design. So all these line have dots like a jewelry, right? All right. So what do you think of this? Perfect. I saw somebody messaging that somebody is sensitive to henna. Somebody said about some coworker. So yeah, the person, one of the person, people who are sensitive to just henna plant is the who has G6PD deficiency. So if that is only in once in so like 1,000 people or 2,000 people, and I have not met anybody who has G6PD problem. So that's a blood deficiency. So you can ask them. Second kind of allergy is they can be allergic to the oils, right? The oils that you use. Generally, lavender is always the most safest oil, but I have had a couple of clients who are sensitive to lavender. So I use a different oil for them, which is not sensitive for them. So you always ask your clients, your friends, whoever you are applying on, if they're allergic to anything. Like somebody were allergic to clove oil, so I didn't use clove for them. So there are different blends. As you go deeper and you want to really, really learn how to make it, then you can actually start experimenting as to what oils work for your henna, where you buy. It's very, very important. Yeah, the tip is nothing but the practice, baby. I mean, sorry, T hard. Thanks for the question. It's all about the squeeze. So if I were to show you, if you can see me, see my squeeze. If I'm squeezing, a light line is coming on, right? And if I want to squeeze harder, then a dark line is coming out. So it's all about how you squeeze with your thumb or the cone. And as the cone is getting, the henna is getting, the cone is getting empty, you keep pushing down the henna from back into the front. So sometimes I like to hold in the front. So I am in control of how my tip is going. Some people hold in the back, but it is up all your personal preference, what makes you comfortable. Okay. Some people I have very short fingers, right? So I can't tell you exactly how to hold. I have very short and tiny fat hands, right? You can have, some people have long fingers or much longer but thicker fingers. I have seen many henna artists who have thicker, bigger hands can have bigger cones. Because of my hand size, I can't make bigger cones. I want to make big cones so that they don't run out easily and quickly. But I have tried, that didn't work for me. So this works for me. Yeah. And so I think this is my class for today. If you have any more questions, do let me know so I can respond to you. Hope this was helpful and inspire you to get into henna, not just as a business person, but as a hobby, as something to relax, meditative, very mindful activity, and something to soothe your senses. It will really, really help you slow down and calm down so that you can tackle life stresses with more power. Yeah, if you have hands cramping up, please do exercise. It's very, very important. Keep stretching and keep rotating and, keep doing more finger exercises. I have a lot of tools that I use to exercise my fingers, my arms, my shoulders. I always do my yoga flow before I go for my henna event when I have to do 8 to 10 hours of henna. By the way, I'm also a yoga instructor, but I don't teach regularly, but I teach special yoga workshops. So the favorite part of henna artist, thank you, Heather, for asking that question. The favorite part for me is that I get to meet amazing people every single day. I would have never met Heather or anybody like Summer right now, or all these amazing people I've met because of Henna. I would have never met them if I was only doing my 9 to 5 job. And me being, I feel I'm an extrovert person. Sometimes I'm very introvert, but as an extrovert person, this gives me um, so much strength and fulfillment when I get to see people, I get to talk to them and just do some beautiful design while sharing some life stories. I get inspired by them, they get inspired by me, and I feel like, my purpose of life is fulfilled, right? So I feel like I'm on the right time and the right place, right? So that is the best part of for me. Everybody has a different reasons or best part for them, but this is my best part. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you all for sharing so many comments and questions. And if you want to reach out to me, you can follow my Instagram. My business name is Henna Chakra, both Facebook, Instagram, and my hennachakra.com is my website. I don't have much on YouTube, by the way. And if you are in the area, come see me. Let's henna together. And if you see me for a workshop, come attend my workshop. Okay. And in winter times, I will be doing some in-person yoga henna classes. So that's my best time. If you're around, please let me know. Thank you. I love you all. Have a beautiful day and happy hennaing. And thank you, Summer.